I want to ask you quickly about MIT Sloan School of Management, and then I want to jump into Flexa and AMP. You spent some time there. I learned some. I took about a year of courses there back in when I graduated back in the day, early '90s, and I learned futures and options and all sorts of great stuff. I really learned about it when I was on Wall Street trading it, but it was a great environment. I'm actually watching a course Gary Gensler talk on blockchain at Sloan in 2018. It's very interesting to watch Gary. I'm about 12 hours in. First of all, he's extremely intelligent and explains blockchain really well, and also reminds people that cryptography's been around for a while. You know, zero knowledge proofs have been a while, way before the crypto. Not to mention all of the elements of the internet was involved way before the dot-com boom. So he has a good kind of a history, like you do, you know, with space program and technology. What's the one thing you got from Sloan?
There were many. I'd say the most important for sure was literally just the people. So it was the focus, and for me, I'd already started a couple companies. I had some exits, and so for me, it was really the time to break away and just meet really smart people over a long period without all the stress and the burden of running a company, having a job, right, having other accountabilities. That was really what was so valuable to me, and honestly. Some of those friendships I've maintained are going to be absolutely lifelong friendships. Even this week, one of my friends hadn't known before was someone in my graduating class is the founder of Cello, another blockchain project that's also consumer focused around spending crypto now all over the world. So it's this just completely like kind of total serendipity of how we're doing somewhat similar things and still get to work on these things. Is one of my good friends, and getting to see him this week even too. So it's like, that's the sort of thing I feel like you get from one of those top schools. And then particularly MIT, just because it's a little more unique. It's kind of self-caters. People come in self-selecting into that kind of cultural mindset of being a little weird, I think, in a really good, positive way. It draws out really that meritocracy, a little bit more of this engineering quirkiness, which I absolutely love and I think is the greatest thing.
Yeah, MIT, we definitely embraced the weirdness there, for sure. It was funny because I met someone later who was down the road at Harvard, and they were like, "Oh, well, at Harvard, how you had to belong to the dinner club and the this and the that, and at MIT, it was just like, are you smart or not? Can you deliver or not? Can you embrace it or not? We don't care anybody, anything else." It again embraces the weirdness, and it was fun. I was one of those pesky undergrads in the Sloan schools who had, was doing vector calculus and was probably blowing you guys away on the math. And you were one of the people that was come either from, Wall Street or coming from a little bit of time off and probably struggling. Well, you probably weren't, but some of the people were struggling with math. I remember those times. Do you miss Boston at all?
Yeah, I like it because it's the most European U.S. city, and so it's really small. It's got a little bit of history. The U.S., it's something we don't really have is longer term history. So when you go visit some of these other, as you travel, particularly around Europe, and like, wow, these are 500-year-old buildings, 600-year-old buildings, 1,000, and no, we got like 200 at best, right? So, and that's not all bad, but so it's cool to have some of that history that is really still prevalent, I think, in Boston as like this kind of the heart, I think, of like historic United States that I really like.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I probably value it more now that I've been in London. You go back in Boston, you see statues and all the stuff that happened there over hundreds of years. So
it was actually, I got married around earlier in the Boston Library. So that was a whole part of, I actually met my wife in Boston. We went to school together. And so that was like a big thing for us. So it was really cool being in that heart of the city in that building.